Hey Max, how's it going?
I'm very well. So it's going very well. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Well, thanks for joining me. This session will be very interesting. Um, let's maybe start with a quick introduction. What does BidX do?
So Biddix supports Amazon sellers to grow and scale their business by automating advertisements on and off Amazon with our software. So what we see is that merchants save in average 1 day per week because all the manual tasks of setting up new campaigns, bid adjustments, and so on are just automated. And the machine does this every single day, day in, day out. So we increase the efficiency and we increase the ROAS by 30%.
Awesome, awesome. And then generally speaking about PPC, right? And probably a lot of people know about Facebook and Google ads, but how do ads work at Amazon? I guess the same way is in Google, you kind of bid for certain keywords and then you rank above them. But on top of that, in Amazon, you have lots of different ways to actually promote your product, right?
Absolutely. So we have to differentiate between on and off Amazon. So for on Amazon, we mostly have PPC ads, so pay-per-click advertisements. And as with Google, Amazon runs a second price auction. And you can think about this as if you were bidding on a product on eBay. So the highest bidder is going to win the auction at the end, but he's going just to pay €1, $1, or £1 whatsoever more than the second highest. And this decides on the one side who's going to rank on top, but on the other side there is like a quality factor, and this applies for Google as well as for Amazon, where they check your click-through rate, your conversion rate, your in-stock rate whatsoever, and that is also factored in. So sometimes somebody who is paying less per click is going to be at the top because of the other performance values and the quality than somebody who's bidding more. This is for Amazon PPC, and you are bidding on certain keywords as with Google text ads. With Amazon DSP, you have different audiences as you have with Facebook. So you can build a group, for instance, one audience who viewed products in a certain category but did not purchase them in the last 14 days. And then you can show them your ads. And the DSP is based on a CPM model, so cost per mil, and you pay per impression.
And you went straight there into DSP. Now, before we discuss DSP, which is more reserved for the larger sellers, right? I think it's a minimum of, what is it, like £50,000 per month?
So when you go with Amazon Managed Service, for mainland Europe, it's €30,000 per flight, what they require you. For agencies, mostly that also offer the managed service, it's about 10K per flight, and like a short flight is 3 months. So this enables you basically to get started with the Amazon DSP with a budget from 3K per month onwards if you do DSP with an agency partner and not with Amazon Managed Service directly.
What's the advantage of doing it with an agency versus the Amazon Managed Service?
So there are a bunch of advantages. First of all, it's communication. If you have an agency that is perhaps also supporting you with the PPC side, they exactly know what products are you selling, in which category, industry are you in, what are your challenges, what are your stock levels, which new products are coming in, and so on. So they just know your company, your product, and communication with them is much easier. Second is reporting. Amazon is going to send you like once or twice a month, like an Excel file, and that's it. And this is like really top level where you can't get a lot of information out of. We, for instance, for our DSP clients, we have connected the Amazon DSP API directly to the BidX software. So you can actually see in real time how are my ads performing. and you cannot only see this like on a top level view, but you can go as deep as you like and see like which creative format size for which product is performing how, and should we increase, should we decrease, how's the performance metric, how's the budget, and so on. And third is like the price and the budget. As mentioned, the budgets are mostly less than with Amazon itself, and with agency partners you also have the possibility to discuss a little bit the pricings. So if you're willing to spend, let's say 50K per month, you maybe get a discount of like 10%, something like that, which with Amazon you mostly don't.
And how do you qualify to be a DSP agency on Amazon?
So to qualify, how to identify the right agency partner for you, do you mean?
No, actually to be, I mean, can any agency be a DSP agency?
Oh, no. So with Amazon DSP, it was easier in the past to access it and to become like a certified DSP agency. But nowadays it's pretty strict who they let in and who they don't. And if they let in somebody, they require you to spend at least a certain amount. I think in the past in Europe it was about 100K. Now it's about 500K, something like this. And in North America you can add 10, so it's like 1 million, but up to 500. And this is like the minimum amount of media budget that you have to spend with all your clients. And otherwise, if you don't, you have to pay penalties. And these penalties then are a couple of 10,000 and 50,000 things. Yeah. So you have to have a certain size to take that risk and to be certain that you can achieve to handle so many agencies.
Interesting. And then going back to the PPC, right? I mean, can you automate not only the normal, sponsored product ads, but can you also do lightning deals and other people bought this type of product ads as well? Like, is it for any type of ad or just certain formats?
So what our system is doing is focusing on the sponsored ads. That includes sponsored product ads with product targeting that appear on the product detail pages, sponsored brands like the big headline searches that ads that just appear below the search, and sponsored display ads that appear below the buy box. And all the different sponsored ad formats can be optimized with Biddix. At the moment, we don't set up any lightning deals or whatsoever. This is like a manual process where we also, at the moment, do not have a possibility to do this with the API. But in the future, maybe, because this is also kind of a promotion which we would love to add.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do a lot of lightning deals now. We can see a lot of good boosters. And then in terms of PPC versus SEO, right? So for example, on the Google side, we're obviously very familiar with SEO, and it works slightly different because on Amazon, the more PPC you do, the more reviews you have, the more organic traffic you also have, which is not the case in Google because they don't really have like their own review system, so to say. I guess, have you seen Amazon brands growing without the use of PPC, just with SEO, or is that not possible anymore?
Well, when you talk about ranking, you talk about traffic. So, and the amount of orders that you can get. If you run a brand off Amazon with your own shop, you have set up your social media channels, and Amazon is just one distribution channel where you probably send when you run like an Instagram story, and then you say, go to Amazon, and then they purchase over there. Great, it works. You don't need any Amazon PPC on Amazon itself, because you get the traffic from somewhere else, or you buy the traffic from somewhere else. But to rank without external traffic today and without using Amazon PPC on Amazon, you will probably face a hard time if you are not a known brand and people are directly searching for your brand. Then obvious, no problem. But I think most of the sellers are not there yet. we see that many of our merchants got their brand names into the top 1,000 of brand analytics. So you see that their brand is gaining in popularity, and they just started like a couple of years ago, and are now ranking with like really big brand names that are in the top 1,000. But other than that, you have so many spots nowadays on Amazon that are sponsored that you will have hard time to just rank organically on Amazon without using any external traffic or PPC.
Yeah, yeah. And then obviously the traffic you get outside of Amazon, if you do have, let's say, an affiliate site redirecting, the customer, so to say, or the visitor to actually the Amazon page, usually that traffic is actually more expensive than the PPC on Amazon, unless you have some, great influencers who can generate lots of traffic for you. But the CAC on Facebook and Google is so much more expensive than on Amazon, which is why you have so many D2C brands also moving into Amazon now.
That's true. But when talking about sending external traffic to Amazon, Amazon is currently running a promotion, especially in North America, for merchants who are using Amazon attribution. This is a new feature to measure external traffic and to attribute sales that were generated on Amazon with that external traffic. And Amazon implemented at the moment a kickback of 10% from the 50% seller fees that you have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get that money back, and you can use it to invest in external traffic sources. And then you can recalculate if now somehow the amount you spend on external traffic is comparable with the efficiency you get as a return as with the ads on Amazon. But without that, no doubt, on Amazon, PPC is like the most efficient way to advertise so far, what we've seen.
And then you've been obviously in the game for some time now. Have you seen, customer acquisition costs increasing as a result of so many more players joining the Amazon ecosystem? And have you seen it across all the categories or certain categories in particular?
Absolutely. So as it is a second price auction, the more people are coming to the party, the more expensive stuff gets. And whereas like in 2018, you were still able to get a lot of traffic for like click CPCs of 50 cents. Nowadays, it's hard to find industries where you can rank with certain keywords for 50 cents on the first page. It's rather like $1.50 or $2.50. So CPCs increased tremendously over the past years, that's for sure. But also the amount of ads that are displayed nowadays on the Amazon website itself have increased tremendously over the years. We have some industry, for instance, supplements, where competition and also margins are much higher than the other industries when you talk about big, bulky, expensive stuff, where you don't have too many sellers yet. So we see that, especially in these industries, prices rose again higher than other industries, but other than that, not too dramatically. And we see that you don't have to pay the Amazon fees. You don't just have to pay the Amazon fees anymore, but you also have to pay for the advertisements, because Amazon turned into a pay-to-play platform where you have to pay for ads to be visible, to get the impression, to get the clicks, to get the conversions.
Yeah, makes sense. And I guess we have various restricted categories on Amazon, right? So sexual wellness, smoking accessories, and these categories are restricted from running ads on Amazon. So how do these sellers grow in their niches?
So first of all, the whole industry is like locked. It is not allowed to run ads. Sometimes it is possible here and there to put it into a different category, but mostly Amazon will recognize and put it back into the original category where it's difficult to run. For some products, it's only forbidden in certain times or in combination with certain products. So, for instance, in some countries, we are not allowed to advertise alcohol before 10 p.m. But afterwards, it is possible. So there are a lot of restrictions. If you have products like that, SEO becomes much more important because it's as with Amazon like 10 years ago. And as with that as well, now all the companies have the same situation. They have to find different ways and different source for the traffic and use external sources to drive traffic to their listings and to increase with that their sales on Amazon and their rankings on Amazon to be ahead of the game. And this is especially important when they are launching new products. And once they are at a certain point, then it's also easier to stay there because they can't face like a advertising attack from a competitor.
So you're saying a lot of the restricted category sellers run basically external traffic mechanisms through influencer, whatever, many chats, right?
Yeah.
To get basically traffic to the Amazon page.
To have something that others don't.
Yeah.
And I would not say that every seller is doing that, but the ones who are like more successful.
Yeah. That's interesting. And then I guess, how do you see the future evolving? I mean, how do you see the future of PPC, DSP, in general, the Amazon ecosystem?
So what we see is that Apple gave big hits to all D2C companies by iOS privacy changes. And Facebook attribution just is not really usable anymore. This was like a really big hit against Facebook. Now Google will fade out cookies, and then they don't have any direct attribution anymore, but they will just have certain models where they think with their AI that certain people must have purchased. So with having lower budgets or lower attributions on Facebook and on Google, we see that Amazon will drastically benefit from that. And it's not only that the two biggest digital advertising companies are having challenges, but what we also see is that more and more of traditional media, print, classic TV ads, and so on, which are also not really measurable, are shifted to digital platforms where they are much better measurable. And now we're talking about connected TVs. And one platform is the Fire TV platform, which is quite popular. And with Amazon Prime Video and the other offerings, also there, Amazon has a really good opportunity now to build on that. We think that Amazon will grow further, also in the Amazon advertising area, but it probably will not grow so much. So it will not grow so quickly as it did in the past. So the growth will slow down, and the growth will then mainly be due to shifting budget from other channels that are now directed to the Amazon platform. Because, I mean, now when you go to a product detail page, you've got like 60 other listings, something like that, and 50 of them are kind of sponsored. So it's really hard to put even many more advertisements on the Amazon platform before users realize that this is just advertisements and there's no organic ranking products anymore.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if Amazon suddenly decides to even run ads in Amazon Prime on the entertainment. But yeah, that's an interesting observation. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. No, that was super interesting. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.